Mimer 8. Sheish is Yomim Teichel Matzah Saviyam Ashviyah says Lashem Lekachalei Sasim Lacha. To understand regarding Shmini Atzeres, it says Atzeres Tilachem. Whereas here it says Lashem Lekacha. And also, what is the meaning of Lois Sasim Lacha? First, should have said Melechas Avodah, since Melechas Echel Nefesh is permitted on Yom Tov. The explanation is that the Gemara Pesachim, in the Gemara Pesachim, there is a machlokes among the Tanaim regarding Yom Tov. Rabbi Elazar holds that it is either entirely Lashem or entirely Lachem for yourselves, while Rabbi Yeshua holds that it is half Lashem and half Lachem, and both derive from the same pasuk. One says pasuk says Atzeres Lashem Lekacha, and another says Atzeres Tilachem. Rabbi Elazar explains either all for Hashem or all for you, and Rabbi Yeshua explains divided in half and half. Nevertheless, from the fact that regarding the seventh day of Pesach it says Lashem Lekacha, it follows that it has a greater connection to being entirely Lashem than Shmini Atzeres says Lachem. With this, we can also understand why it says Lo Yisas Melacha, for since one can choose to make it entirely Lashem, therefore even Melachas Echel Nefesh would be prohibited in such a case, as Robert the Magen Avram, one who fasts Tanis Chalaim on Yom Tov is forbidden to do Melacha, even Melachas Echel Nefesh. The same applies here. If one makes it entirely Lashem, then all Melacha is forbidden. Now, the essence of joy is to rejoice in Hashem Himself, as it says, and although this joy must exist throughout the entire year, nevertheless, Yom Tov is called Ma'adim L'Simcha, because then the joy of a mitzvah is in far a greater measure and intensity. The reason is that through mitzvahs there is drawn down an additional new light in Atzilos, and also within the vessels the divine soul is drawn from the Pnimius Hakelim. Yet despite this, light drawn through mitzvahs does not become revealed within it in a way of Pnimius, to be internalized within it as an inner light, even though the root of the divine soul is from the Pnimius Hakelim of Biyah, where the light is indeed revealed internally. Nevertheless, within the divine soul it does not shine as Pnimi, but only as Makif. This is because the animal soul covers, conceals, and surrounds the divine soul, not allowing the light to enter within it in an internal way. This is the meaning of but on Yom Tov there is an additional revelation of light, and through this the vessel of the animal soul itself becomes refined. This is Mashgiach Menachalenis, and therefore then they are called Ma'adim L'Simcha, because joy is a form of revelation. For this reason they would bring Shalmi Simcha, which affects even the animal soul that conceals and hides the divine spark within a person and prevents the joy of Hashem. Through the offering of fats and blood upon the altar, the animal soul becomes included and elevated into the supernal fire to its root in the level of Pnei Shorshim Merkava Hel Yena. Therefore, through eating the meat of the Shlomim, they were able to rejoice in Hashem, because the meat becomes an intermediary, as is known regarding the vitality and strength that a human medaber receives from Demet Chai, the inanimate plant and animal, and this is because their source is much higher than that of man. In the secret of Achav Kedem Tzaratani, that their root is from Elamatayu, only that through the breaking of the vessels they fell and descended below, becoming Demet Chai, but through the offering of the fats and blood, which are included and elevated back to their source, the meat becomes a medium through which one can rejoice in Hashem. This is why they are called Shlomim, from the word Shalom, as brought in the Medrash, and also from the word Shlemus, as explained in the Zohar. There are two shaloms. Shlim l'el b'shlim l'tata. Tata can be understood as the illumination of the powers of the divine soul within the animal soul, so that the body and animal soul do not obstruct. So to here, it means that the joy in Hashem is revealed even within the animal soul. This is similar to what is explained elsewhere regarding Shir Habar, from the expression Bar Levav, a pure heart. Thus, Shalmi Simcha refers to meat that has already been refined, and therefore gives strength and power to the animal soul as well. And this is the general comptov of the offering of Shalmi Simcha on every Yom Tov. Our Chacham said, "Ha'olam haba, the world to come, etc. They will not have no eating and no drinking." According to the Rambam, this refers to the Olam Hashamas, the world of souls. But the Ramban questions this. If so, what novelty is the Gemara teaching? Can a soul without a body eat at all? Rather, he concludes that it refers to the time of Tchias HaMesim, when a person will be in a body, and nevertheless there will be no eating. The explanation is as follows: the concept of eating is, as it says, "Ichlureim shtu." Shikru refers to Chachma Bina, while Shtu v'Shikru Doidim Latata refers to Zah and Nukva. The meat is Chasik Gvura and Rachama, meaning in order for there to be a level of Reim, which is Chachma Bina, there must be a concept of eating. In order for there to be Midas, there must be drinking. For in him, blessed be he, since there is no comparison to him at all, there is no such thing as Chesed, nor even Chachma, as it says, Kulam Chachma Asisa. The Chachma itself is considered like Asiya relative to him, and it's called Adam da Asiya. As an Anchakim, allowed me call Ilan Midas Klal. From Midas are by definition limitation and measure, in order to give reward to the righteous so they can receive it, meaning to enjoy the radiance of the Shekhinah, and to punish the wicked. For if there were simple, unlimited compassion, he would also have compassion to the wicked. Therefore, for there to be Chachma bin Amidis, there must be eating, meaning a drawing down from above, as explained in the Zohar in Chaim, that Abba receives nourishment from Mazal Hashmini. That is the idea of eating and drawing through the Mazalas. That is Ichlureim Leila. And in order for there to be Deidim, the Midas, there must be drinking, which is the descent of the influence downward until it becomes midas, like drinking brings the food downward since water descends. This is shtuchulu, and shichru is a revelation of nichnas yayin. Chulu, thus the content of eating is understood. Now we must understand the idea of the seventh day of Pesach. Chacham said regarding Kisamtov that Ras Shiv Chalayam, a Mater saw to see what the prophets did not see. We must understand where is this indicated in the Torah that there was such a great revelation of godliness. Mount Torah it says Panam B'Panam Diber Chulu. But here, from where is it learned? The explanation is as it says Matitzakelai, and also Hashem Ilachem Lochem V'Atem Tachadushin. For speech comes from Chachma. It says Chachma Yasa the Adet Abba Yasa Berata, like the example of a child who cannot speak, and our sages say that a wise person does not speak in the presence of someone who is greater than him, like one who stands before a great king. The reason is, because he is so absorbed in receiving, he cannot express outwardly. At Kriyas Hamsuf, there was a revelation of godliness that is above Chachma. Therefore, it says, the Atem Tachadushin, there was silence. Similarly, in Shemoneh Esrei, which is a taste of that revelation, in a state of bittul, one does not make an audible sound. This is also the meaning of he transformed the sea into dry land. It could have said simply he split the sea, but the deeper meaning is that sea represents the giver and land the receiver. The sea gives moisture to the land, which then produces growth. All rivers flow to the sea, and the sea is not filled, and from there they return again to the rivers. Otherwise, the rivers would dry up. Likewise, the clouds recede from the ocean and water the earth. But when there is such a great revelation, the sea itself becomes dry land, becoming like a wall, like a solid stone. This is again the waters congealed. This was a greater revelation than that seen by Yechezkel, who only saw Pnei Aryeh, a structured vision with distinctions. But at Kriyas Hamsuf, the revelation was beyond all vision, like Ais Kerach, a single unified state, as in and this is also the meaning of there was the cloud and the darkness, and it illuminated. Vayar is masculine, referring to the darkness. It was the darkness that illuminated. For in creation it says there is a separation, a curtain, in order for there to be, say, there is taushlos and differentiation. Only on the first day were light and darkness mixed, but afterward they were separated. However, at Kriyas Yamsuf, the darkness itself shone, meaning the level of Yashish Chayshich Sisrei, which is above Ishtaushlos, from below it is called darkness, because the Leis Machrabat Tvisa Bay, but in truth it is a higher light. Therefore they did not bring Shami Simcha on the seventh day of Pesach, because the joy of that day is so great that it cannot come into internal revelation, which would be like eating, but only in a surrounding way, makeh, from above. Therefore it says Sham Nismacha Bay, there we rejoiced in him, specifically there. This is also the meaning of Ha'ilam Haba'in Ba'ilo Yachil Chulu, because in the future there will be a revelation of godliness from above Ishtaushlos, and therefore it will not be revealed in a primistic way like eating, but only as a makeh. And this is Ibn Yisrael by Be'abash B'Sechayam. The Gemara says that there is a dispute whether heaven or earth came first, and both are true. In action, heaven came first, but in thought, earth preceded. At Kriyas Yamsuf, there was a revelation of the supernal thought, where earth comes first. Therefore it says they walked in dry land, that meaning the revelation of that higher level.